Hello and welcome to Strategic News International. I'm Parul, Chandra, and with me is the editor-in-chief of SNI, Nitin Gokhale, and we're going to be talking about the ICJ verdict on the Kulbhushan Jadhav case. Jadhav has been under detention, rather arrest, for more than 2 years now, and while Pakistan says that he was an Indian spy, India maintains that he was abducted by Pakistani elements from Iran. Nitin, what do you make of the ICJ verdict today? It was eagerly awaited by both India and Pakistan. And for now, at least, Jadhav seems to have got some kind of a temporary respite from the death sentence that he was awarded by a Pak military court.
Indeed. In fact, there are 3 or 4 major points that emerge from here. One, of course, is what you said, that there is a stay on his execution, which Pakistan wanted to do before India went to the ICJ. But that apart, one of the major points that India was making, one of the major legal points, was that the ICJ has jurisdiction over this case, was India's contention, which has been upheld. Pakistan was trying to oppose it.
It's a very important, in fact, ruling.
Exactly, because otherwise Pakistan was saying that this doesn't apply, the jurisdiction of the ICJ. India has no right to go to the International Court of Justice, was Pakistan's contention. The second is that the admissibility was challenged of this case by Pakistan in the ICJ, which has now been rejected by the International Court of Justice. Almost unanimously, you can say 15-0, because when they say the ruling is 15-1 with one judge dissenting, is actually an ad hoc judge appointed under the obligation of the International Court of Justice of the country that is a party to this dispute, which is Pakistan.
In this case, Pakistan.
In this case, Pakistan. So that justice from Pakistan, or the judge from Pakistan, has naturally dissented on every point that the ICJ has made. And an important point to note,
the Vienna Convention.
Vienna Convention is of course there, but before that I want to draw your attention and our viewers' attention to the fact that there was a Chinese judge also on the 15-member bench of the International Court of Justice. Even he has unanimously upheld India's right to get consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav.
Yeah, China seems to be changing course. You know, they supported the designation of Hafiz Saeed as an international terrorist quite recently, and now a Chinese judge has supported India on the ICJ panel. Can you tell SNI viewers a bit about what the court ruling on the fact that the Vienna Convention has been violated by Pakistan? You see, India had said that India had contended that Pakistan violated the Vienna Convention on consular relations where Jadhav was concerned.
That's right. In fact, what the judges or the judges have said is that any person who has been arrested has the right, universal human rights make it compulsory to give consular access to that person, irrespective of whether he or she was a spy.
Pakistan that's a very important point.
Pakistan was trying to say that spies have no right, no human rights, and therefore no Vienna Convention does not apply, or it was not violated. But that even has been rejected by the ICJ. The only thing which is not very clear at the moment is whether this trial will continue in the military court in Pakistan, or will it shift to a civilian court. Although, from what we know, the two courts, both the courts in Pakistan have almost similar kind of standing and similar procedures. So that Pakistan may want to term it as a minor victory, that the ICJ has not upheld India's plea that he should be tried in a civilian court. But materially, it doesn't make much of a difference really to the case. The important point is that now Jadhav gets legal help. He gets to speak to Indian officials, which is the consular access, and the case can be contested on its merits.
Yes. And what about the death sentence which was awarded to him? Does it kind of remain on hold now? Because I think a preliminary reading of the ICJ verdict indicates that that will be on hold clearly, because first he has to be given consular access, he has to have a legal counsel appointed, because that was one of India's contention, that he did not even get a lawyer of his choice.
That's right. Or even India was not informed about him. And let's not forget that he was not arrested. He was actually kidnapped from Iran and taken to Pakistan and shown as a spy by Pakistan, because it had its share of troubles in Balochistan,
yes.
which is abutting
the Iranian
province there, and therefore that was the problem. So execution is clearly stayed. India has won the first step, the first victory in a long road ahead. I think the legal battle that India will have to fight. So having won this, it will strengthen India's hand and also give hope to the Jadhav family that there is not all is lost in his case.
Is there any likelihood of his family getting to meet him? Because the last meeting went off quite badly, and
well,
the shabby manner in which the family, his wife and mother, were treated when they went to meet him, and I think quite a public spectacle of their visit was made, with the Pakistani media heckling them, hectoring them.
That's right. In fact, that is what something that would sort of be seen as something that Pakistan is known to do each time there is something to do with India. They'll try and do a public spectacle, they'll try and humiliate or harass Indian diplomats, even in normal circumstances like celebrating Eid or hosting an iftar party, something of that kind. So this wasn't really surprising. But hopefully the family will get some access. If not, at least the lawyer or the legal team which will get access to Jadhav will be able to pass on messages to him, which is a major relief. Otherwise, it seemed as if all was lost as far as this case was concerned. It's definitely a major legal and diplomatic victory for India, having put a lot of pressure, and all kudos to the legal team led by Harish Salve, a very famous and effective lawyer who led India's charge, or India's legal team in the International Court of Justice.
But Pakistan might just also claim victory, saying that Jadhav is still not out of the woods, and that they can continue with this trial before a military court.
Well, they would. I mean, I don't expect anything else from them really. But the fact is that first they were denying that he can be brought under the Vienna Convention provisions, which has been rejected by the court, as I mentioned. The court has also said that you cannot execute him or you cannot carry out the sentence.
Yeah, till he has legal recourse,
proper recourse. Yes. So we'll have to wait and see how that legal recourse. And there is a sentence in the verdict. It says all avenues must be explored for the reparation and consideration or reconsideration of his case. So all is not lost. Certainly, it's not the final victory. But this is also something that India knew. India had a limited plea to the International Court of Justice at this point in time, in 2018 when it was done, that they want consular access and his execution should be stayed, which has been granted, which I think India can very easily say that we have had a legal victory in the International Court of Justice.
And one final question, what is the fallout of this verdict going to be on India-Pakistan ties? In any case, they are not on a very upbeat note, and we do have the ties are pretty sour at this point of time. But looking ahead, what do you see happening?
Well, there are some straws in the wind, if I may say. So, in fact, Pakistan tried one more trick today. As the verdict was awaited, they arrested Hafiz Saeed and sort of tried to show that they're taking action against terrorists and terrorist leaders and trying to divert attention of the world media or the community. But that clearly did not work, because there was so much of interest in The Hague not just from the Indian media, but from the Pakistani media. And in fact, in an unusual move, I would say, or unusual development, the court verdict was leaked by a Pakistani lawyer come analyst, who said that, you know, all this has happened and India has been granted consular access.
Kind of curious. I thought, you know, India would have leaked the verdict,
Well, if
given
India
that
had got
it was
that,
in,
yes,
in India's favor.
India's favor, but then that didn't happen. Perhaps India doesn't want to spoil the image. But going forward, like you asked me, what is the way forward? So straws in the wind is that Pakistan is projecting that it is taking some action against terrorist leaders, freezing their funding, arresting
they arrested
their leaders.
Hafiz Saeed
Hafiz
today.
Saeed.
Yes.
So they had said all this. Then they also had talks on Kartarpur corridor just on the weekend.
Yes.
I suspect this is mainly because Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan will be in the US, in Washington on Monday.
Yes.
And therefore they want to sort of clean the stables, as it were, before he goes there and project a very benign image of Pakistan, or at least, you know, somebody who's behaving better than before.
They need that. They just got that IMF bailout.
Exactly.
And they're under pressure from the FATF.
Right.
So
I think they also know they have a foot in the door in Afghanistan, and they want to utilize that opportunity to make themselves relevant once again. So maybe this is a small price to pay to allow Jadhav consular access. Not that they are doing it on their own willingly. It's now been thrust upon them. It's been, you know, forced by the court. So at least India should now look at it as a first step towards an eventual objective of getting him back, and redouble the efforts is what I would think.
Yeah, but the question still remains is whether Pakistan will honor the verdict of the ICJ. Will they allow him consular access?
Well, I think given the kind of pressure that is there internationally, I doubt whether Pakistan will want to defy the world opinion, given it is a 15 to 1 almost unanimous verdict.
Yes.
It doesn't seem that Pakistan will actually try and defy or try and object to the implementation of the ICJ order. Let's wait and watch, but at the moment I think India can claim rightfully a quiet, effective and important legal diplomatic victory.
Yes, Nitin, as you rightly said, let's wait and watch and see the next chapter unfold in this saga. And well, that's all we can do for now.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks.